Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to a new week and welcome to this week's Goddess Energy Forecast. This is your girl, Abigail Mensa Bonsu, Divine Feminine Activator, Divine Embodiment Mentor and Leader, and a multidimensional healer. Welcome. So let's dive into this week's energy. When I tuned into this week's energy, and actually before I go there, for all of you that who are new to my channel or new to my work or new to the Goddess Energy Forecast, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is something that I love to do, and I do on a weekly basis. And the purpose of it, what inspired me to create this, is to teach others how to tune into the energies that are around us, helping us to succeed in life. Nobody taught us about this from the beginning. Imagine if we knew this from the beginning, how amazing life would be. So that is what inspired me. I want everyone to learn and tune into the energies that are always around us, that changes and shifts with our growth, with our where we are in life, and always supporting us and always redirecting us, always realigning us. And when you're aware of these energies and how to work with them, it makes life flow so much easier. And then, of course, the other part of this is that I also bring in messages of guidance to guide you through the week. We're taking it, one bite at a time. So just a weekly basis. What am I working with this week? So what is my focus? Where should I put my energy this week? And then here's a message that will support you through this week. And I started doing this, I think it's been... Oh man, I started out on my Facebook profile where I would just pop in and do it. And it's been years. I have to go and look back and see when I really started this. And eventually it has evolved a lot, it completely evolved to what it is right now. And it continues to shift. So I'm really excited to bring this amazingness to you. And I invite you to share this with people that you think will benefit them, people that you feel like will help their life feel more in flow and in tune. Share this with your loved ones, with your friends, on your pages and social media. Share this, share it away. So let's go ahead and begin. So when I tuned into this week's energy, it's very interesting. So first of all, the goddess that came in for this week is pretty badass. She's one of my homegirl goddesses that I work with, one of my divine feminine high council group. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. So when I tuned into this week's energy and the topic of leadership and your calling came through, it was no surprise that she showed up. So let's talk about leadership and calling. If you're listening to this message especially, you are one of those who are here to lead like I am. And however way you're being called to lead, there's no one way, there's no specific way to lead or to follow your calling. There's only your way. You're here to lead, which means that you're here to create a path that will help others come back to themselves, come back to their light, come back to their power, come back to the wholeness of their being. Whether you're a healer, whether you're an activator, whether you are a warrior of light, whether you are a coach, however you're here to serve, you are being asked to step it up into leadership. You're no longer, this is how it's been coming up for me, right? So, when you when you come into contact or you see someone who's like doing amazing work, they're in their leadership and they're changing lives and they have a massive following, and it just, testimonials of how amazing their work has changed lives. Like you get like thrown into it and you forget that you are a leader as well. Like that person, those people showed up in your life to show you, hey, open your eyes. What you're seeing in me is what is within you, what you're being called to step into. Let's move into that. What you see within me is what you're being called to step into at this time. From this point forward, that's what humanity needs. Not everybody is a leader, but if this message, this first part of the message, vibes with you, if you feel it in your bones, you are here to lead. And most likely you've known it for a long time. I'm getting that some of you have just been afraid to step into the role of leadership because you don't know what that looks like. And what is coming through is that it's okay. It's okay if you don't know what that looks like. That is not your job. That is a job of your team, of your divine team. You just need to decide, hey, I choose to step into my role, my divine role of leadership. How can I serve? That's all. And everything else will fall through. You don't need to have the bigger picture, the big clarity in order to move forward. You just need to choose to step in. You just need to choose to take the step, and the rest will show up. So if this first part, especially the part about leadership, really vibrates with you, you're being called to step it up. Which means that what I'm being shown is that you've been swept up in other people's leaderships. Which means that these people came into your life to show you that you're a leader, but you didn't catch that. You didn't catch that reflection they've been showing you. And you just went into following instead. And you notice this because you every time you step in, there's a part of you that's like, oh my God, I can totally do this. What am I doing? What am I doing? There's a part of you that resists following because you know that is not your path. You are here to lead. You are here to lead a new revelation, a new evolution, a new path. And only you know what that path is. It's very unique to you. And whatever that signature is exactly what your people need. I know this because I've been experiencing this a lot. I stepped in, even today in meditation, I was like, I step in fully into my role as a leader. I step in fully to serve and to make a impact impact. I know that's what I'm here to do. I think I've talked about this many times. I'm here to create a bigger impact with my unique gifts and light. My energy field is expanded in that way. My energy field is in that capacity to serve on the bigger scale. That's what I'm here to do. But for the longest time, I wanted to see, okay, do this first and then do that. I wanted to see the bigger picture. I wanted to see like all the details. And it's like, no, that holds you back. Because if you don't get that clear picture, what happens? You're like, okay, well, until I get that clear picture, I'm not moving forward. You're stuck. And then what does the universe do? Because the universe absolutely loves us. The divine loves us. Our divine team loves us. Our higher self loves us. What do? They bring you people that show you who you are, to keep reminding you of who you are. But if you are not open to seeing that and receiving that, then you go into following. You go into putting yourself underneath instead of equal. And even most times, you're way beyond them. Most times, you are way beyond them energetically. But you keep putting others on a pedestal because you are not seeing what they're reflecting to you. The first part of this message is for you leaders. You're here to lead. And if you didn't know this, take this as your activation. You will know it from here on out. The second part of it is the calling. And this is for those of you who are like, I want to serve humanity. How can I serve? Or perhaps you haven't even reached there yet, but you just know that there's something within you that wants to come out. There's an inner calling that is ready to be expressed at this time. There is an inner calling within you that is ready to be expressed at this time. What is that inner calling? What is that calling that has been popping up lately? Perhaps it is to create workshops to help new awakening beings to step more into their power fearlessly. Perhaps it is creating a course where it would help, crystal children and their parents to learn how to work with their amazing powers and the gifts. What is it? Perhaps it is for you to finally step into your healing abilities and begin to actually use your healing abilities with others, helping others with that. There's a calling within you. It's an ancient calling that before it was dormant, or perhaps a very quiet voice. It feels more like an inner desire, an inner nudge that has been always there. And this week is coming to the forefront. The whole point of this, talking about this, is bringing it to the forefront of your awareness. This week is about bringing your leadership and your calling to the forefront of your consciousness. So you can see it, you can feel it, you can embody it, you can sense it, like you'll be able to see it on all levels of your being. And you're being invited to open up to the directions of your heart, of your soul, of your higher self. There's an opening going on with this. And you stepping into that greater purpose. And you stepping into greater leadership. If you feel like you were leading before, you're going to be taken into the next level. Because I feel like when you're in that leadership role, it's all about bigger impact. If you check into your energy field, it is amplified to impact millions of people. Now, whether they're in the same vicinity as you physically or through media like this, which we're lucky to do this. At the beginning, I would hear like, oh, the only way for, people to feel your energy or to you have to be in person with them. Like it was very focused on in person. And the more and more I stepped into my energy, the more and more I got to know who I am to the core. The more I began to remember who I really am. And then I realized this. There are people from across the world who were already having interactions with my energy, with my higher self, before they even knew who I was. I realized that my higher self, my energy, could reach someone on the other side of the world and provide healing, provide counseling, divine counseling, I should put it that way, to activate. Don't limit yourself. Leaders, don't limit yourself. You're here to do so much more. Wherever you think you are, you're being asked to take it to the next level. I want you to blow the lid open. Actually, we're going to blow that cap off. Okay? If the second part of this message, the call-in part, that voice is going to get louder. And not just that, you will also receive the steps you need to take to step into more and more of your calling. It will feel so good that you won't even want to do anything else but follow your calling. You will take one step and you're like, why didn't I do this? Everything will flow. Everything will flow smoothly. Things will fall into place. I mean, you're about to experience a miracle like no other. And this is the energy that's coming in this week. But I feel like it's just starting this week. It's going to continue. This week is just when it's amplified. This week is when it's being pulled to the forefront of your consciousness so you can see it. So you can feel it on all parts of yourself, and you can begin taking the steps. So if you're ready, just say, I am ready to receive. Yes, yes, yes. I am ready to step in fully. I am ready. I am ready. I'm ready. I don't have to know the details. If I know the details, great. But I don't have to. All I know is I'm here in greater service to humanity. That's it. All right. So that's the first part, leadership and your calling. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into which divine feminine energy or which goddess it will be mentoring us this week. So if you haven't yet, before we even get into that, if you haven't yet, close your eyes, taking a deep breath in. I want you to drop your awareness into your heart space. And so see like this ball of light from your mind dropping into your heart. And see that ball of light now in your heart space. I want you to bring your awareness to that ball of light in your heart and breathe. And breathe into that ball of light. And as you breathe into it, it gets bigger and bigger. It just expands. Now bring into your mind's eye a beautiful ball of light, source light above you. And see this pillar of light coming down from that source light through your crown chakra, through your head, all the way down through your throat, into your heart, where it combines with that ball of light within your heart already. It anchors and takes form, and you can see the ball of light within your heart begin to shift and change and grow and expand. But allow that pillar of light to continue down through your stomach, through your hips, your legs, and let it enter into Mother Earth. Let it go all the way down into Mother Earth, and let it anchor into the center of Mother Earth. Beautiful. So now you have this channel of light or pillar of light coming down all around you from above, connected to the divine, and into the earth, connected to Mother Earth. Now bring your awareness to that heart light and breathe. We're going to call in your higher self. Actually, call in your higher self to come into your heart now. Call in your higher self to come into your heart now. Call in your Holy Spirit self to come into your heart now. Call in your divine counsel to come into your heart now and breathe. Beautiful. And feel all of your love, all of your presence within that ball of light within your heart. Expand that love all around you. So you're standing in the middle of a beautiful ball of light infused with all of that divineness, all of that deliciousness. And breathe. Yes. And from this centered place, go ahead and ask, where do I need to focus my energy this week? Where do I need to focus my energy this week? 1, 2, 3, or 4. Actually, yeah, we're going to go with 3. So 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Okay, that makes sense. Once you receive your number or numbers, go ahead and breathe. Come back into this present state, ready to receive the message and integrate all of the blessings. Beautiful. Welcome back. So our divine feminine essence that we're working with this week, you ready for this, is Joan of Arc. Now, I love, like I said, she is part of my divine feminine high council. So I am part of the Magdalenas, the Order of Magdalenas, or the Order of the Rose. And of course, is, Mary Magdalene, beloved Isis, Joan of Arc. They're all in there. And they represent leadership. They represent following your calling, trusting and having faith in what you're here to do and following through with it. So I'm really excited to share the message, and yeah, it's going to talk a little history about who Joan of Arc is. And I wonder how many of you know who she is and what she did. Let's just dive into it. So again, here's the divine feminine essence we're working with this week in Joan of Arc. It makes sense, right? Leadership and calling. Now, let's find out a little bit about who she is. Joan of Arc represents the power that we all possess when we are aligned with our calling. Joan of Arc represents the power that we all possess when we are aligned with our calling. She is a legendary heroine in France for her role in the Hundred Years' War. She was born in 1412 in Domremy, France. And at the age of 13, she had a vision that would change the course of her life. She relates years later in transcripts from her trial after being captured by the English that she would have preferred to stay in her hometown spinning wool, but the power of her vision and her belief in the truth of it compelled her to follow the voice she heard within her. The vision was of Archangel Michael, accompanied by many angels. She said, I saw them with my bodily eyes as well as I am seeing you. And when they left, I wept. The Archangel Michael told her that she was meant to drive out the English from France. Dressed in men's armor, Joan of Arc led several campaigns against the English and became a symbol of hope. The power of her conviction that she was acting on God's behalf shifted the tenor of the war in France's favor. She was captured in May 1430 and taken to Rouen, I think that's how you say it, which was then under English rule. A heresy trial led by Bishop Cochin, I think that's how you say it, charged her with the repeat offense of cross-dressing. She was condemned and sentenced to death in May of 1431. 25 years later, her mother, Isabel Romy, among others, demanded a retrial. 115 witnesses were called to testify on Joan's defense. She was declared innocent in 1456, and Pope Benedict XV canonized her in May of 1920. So that's a little history about who she was and her journey. Incredible how young she was to take on the calling, to step into her calling with such faith, right? Like we'll come back to that. Here is her message for us. During Joan of Arc's heresy trial, her interrogators asked her if she was in a state of grace. She answered, if I am not, may God put me there. And if I am, may God so keep me. Her unfaltering faith in the truth of her own visions made the impossible possible. As a teenager, she led an army that changed the course of history for France. And because of the trials, we have sworn testimony detailing the courage of her convictions and her own testimony about her visions of Archangel Michael, who inspired the course of her actions. I love this part. Act and God will act. Act and God will act. She said the faith she had in her vision allowed her to take on a task that had never been done before by a young woman. Her every action chanted, I am not afraid. I was born to do this. I am not afraid. I was born to do this. She is associated with the fleur de lis, known as the flower of light. It represents the Trinity, the profound truth that Trinity would not exist without Mary and her brave response to the angel Gabriel's call. Joan, like Mary, knows she is directly connected to the divine from within her, and she allows that connection to guide her. I love that part too. Joan of Arc's life is a testament to what is possible for us when we believe steadfastly in our own vision. She asks for us to move beyond our fear, to act on our truth, and to do this with the confidence of knowing that our every step is flanked with angels. So this is what she's asking us this week. What is the most powerful vision of your life? What is the most powerful vision of your life? When I read this, I had to check in myself. I had to ask that question for myself. Because here's the thing, when we are connected to a divine vision, it drives us. It really does. It gives us the passion and the drive to move forward. And it always aligns us to our true north. Here's a big vision that I have. I'm going to share this with you guys. I think I've shared components with you guys as I do this, weekly. But here's my big vision. I've always seen myself on this beautiful property in the mountains. And it has this big, looks like a mansion, like a structure, right? With a garden surrounding it. And the garden, has like roses, and it has like these crystals embedded in there. There's areas you can sit and meditate. There's water features. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's like huge crystal towers in certain like four corners to hold the energy of the sacred site, of the sacred place. And within it are different offices, and there are different, what am I looking for? Like different practitioners there. So there's an MD there, there's a naturopath there, there's a chiropractic, there's a acupuncturist, a massage therapist, there's a divine feminine activator. There's like, so there are all these people that are bringing in tools to bring in wellness on all levels. Like that is the key here. Wellness on all levels, bringing us into complete wellness, which means physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And all the offices are glass, and so we can see each other. And I see myself like walking into my office, and it's like the biggest one, facing like the best part of the garden, and I'm like standing there just smiling, taking it all in. And the opposite office, my son is there, like grown. My son grown is there. See, I had this vision before I even had him. And the moment I had him, he like popped right in there. Like it was amazing. My husband is also there too. And it's just beautiful. There's a part of the vision where I walk into like this boardroom, and we meet like weekly, and we're all sitting there. We're all talking about, like what are some things we can improve on? What can we add? How can we be of bigger service? But it felt good. It felt so whole. It felt like everyone was in sync with each other. It was a very special group of people that I had brought together. Right? And this business was thriving. And anyone that came in to receive healing, it was like a place that you can come and stay for like a week and receive, like just detach from the chaos of the world and leave feeling whole again, ready to be your complete self in the world. It's a very magical place, magically anchored place, I should say. So that is my vision. And every time I tune into that, something shifts, or I get a clearer part of it, But that, everything I'm doing kind of guides me there. Like I feel like that's a huge part of my purpose. And I'm so excited. Like it's exciting when I tune into it. So the question goes for you guys. And if you haven't joined my Facebook group, I want you to do that. because I actually want you to pop in there and share with me what is the biggest vision in your life so that we can hold space for you. And my group is Moon Goddess Sacred Sanctum on Facebook, and I'll put the link below the video so you can find it and hop on in there. Okay. And here's the mantra we're working with this week. I have a steel-like faith in myself. The angels armor me with conviction. I have a steel-like faith in myself. The angels armor me with conviction. I feel like there's a couple of mantras you can work with. The other one is act and God will act. Act and God will act. And then this one, I am not afraid. I was born to do this. I am not afraid. I was born to do this. Pretty amazing, right? So again, here's the Divine Feminine Essence we're working with this week, Joan of Arc. For those of you who are connected to the Order of the Rose or the Order of Magdalenas, this is going to resonate with you. It just ring into every cell of your being, because if you are part of that order, you're here to lead. And this will be a wake-up call for you. Like, hey, let's do this. Step it up. Let's go. Let's move. All right, so let's go ahead and go into the individual messages. So it's very interesting because I thought there were three, usually I'll pull three cards, but this week there's an extra that came with card number 1. Very interesting. So let's go ahead and dive in real quick. All right, so again, if you're drawn to card number 1, you received 2 cards, and they're actually quite connected. I was blown away. So the first card, and I'm going to show you, it's called Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. And then the second card that came with card number 1, which is like a follow-up to card number 1, it says, she feels, she knows. She feels, she knows. How perfect is that with our theme for this week with leadership and calling? So let's go ahead and open up to receive your message if you're drawn to card number 1. Here's the first part of your message. In the chaos of modern life and the constant fluctuations of our minds, it can be difficult to remember that a sublime sanctuary lies within. Yet it is always there. Beneath the ceaseless activity, there's an endless, vast spaciousness that restores and connects us to something greater, something that exists outside of time. Some might call it eternity. Within that sanctuary, sacred sound is felt rather than heard. That sacred sound is actually the reverberating heartbeat of the entire universe. Your own heart's rhythm sounds within the greater universal heartbeat. The totality of life, of all of your being, can be felt as one through listening to and feeling for the sacred sound of the heart beating within you. It is through this heartbeat that we experience a love that is that is more than preference or attachment. This is the love that inspires, energizes, and moves us to create, even being what we once thought was possible. Your love for life, the need to feel alive and express yourself, and the quest for that which is truly fulfilling. These are the sacred urges that rebel against fear and promote passion for being alive. They flow through your blood and can be felt through the beating of your heart. Hold on. All right. Can be felt through the beating of your heart. This oracle has a message for you. There is the way of the mind, which can make mountains out of molehills, even when it thinks it is turning mountains into molehills. Then there is the way of the heart. It is subterranean and moves subtle beneath possible obstacles, intelligently shifting with exquisite sensitivity, sensing the way forward through dangerous pathways and responding to what is before it, even before it even occurs in the physical world. However, with the heart's intelligence, we cannot see and know in the same way that we do when we allow the mind to direct us. We have to be open to another way if we want to benefit from the innate intelligence of the heart. The mind sees, plans, and strategizes. The heart feels, responds, senses, and intuits. When we walk the path of the heart, we must feel and respond rather than plan our way. It is a different way to live and create. It is a closer to earth and to the source of life itself. It is not for those who are lacking in courage and trust, but you are not one of those. You are not one of those. You are being asked to trust your heart and to drop into it. The mind is important, but it cannot supplant the heart. The role of the mind is to serve the truths of the heart. The role of the mind is to serve the truth of the heart. That is, to create a spacious chamber of receptiveness into which the sacred rhythm of your heartbeat can resound. This oracle comes with a guidance for you. Deep within, you know what to do, and you know what is true. It matters not whether the mind and its plans seem to agree with your inner sense. Your willingness to trust your heart and to rebel against any fear will serve you well. Let your heart lead you. Be sure of your faith and trust in what you feel. Your head and heart have been in conflict at times over the course of your life. This has brought you struggle and sometimes deep suffering. However, this oracle brings you the message that a truce will soon be declared and the appropriate outcome of the mind wavering the white flag of surrender is imminent. Soon, if not already, you will finally be feeling that your heart is leading you. You will feel that your mind is learning to follow the guidance of your heart, rather than trying to be out front, seeing and sorting everything out in advance in order to be safe. What a relief to let go of this old way. Your mind can become more relaxed and trusting. There will be a period of adjustment as you get used to living without so much foresight, but with more insight, wisdom, and energy in the present moment to create. If you're finding that you cannot plan or strategize as you once did, or you feel that you know less than you have ever known about where you're heading or how you're supposed to get there, then this oracle comes as confirmation that these are healthy signs of a shift from head to heart. You are not proceeding in error. You are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. You're meant to be doing. You are now in a position that is more powerful than ever because you are allowing yourself to be guided by your heart, a heart that beats in harmony with the heart of all existence. Your affairs are in accord with love, and no matter what may appear to be at times, all is unfolding according to that greater love, you included. So that's the first part of your message if you're drawn to card number 1. And here's your second part of the message. So after you have tuned into your heart and you allow your heart to lead the way, which means that your mind follows your heart instead of you trying to, instead of your mind leading the way, okay? After you've done that, she knows, she feels, she knows. Here's a message from this card. An illumination is erupting from within you as a vision that is bringing what was once obscured into clarity. So you're receiving clarity here when you do that. This is not likely to happen as a blinding, shocking insight, but as more of a softer, gentle knowing. It is like knowing something without understanding exactly when or how you came to know it. This insight will assist you, and you are asked to honor it. You will know which insight it is at the right time. Your heart will tell you. You are therefore being asked to rely upon the clarity that is coming to you now, or has just recently come, gently but firmly. From that place of knowing, intend to act and take your next steps forward. This oracle comes to you with guidance, particularly about long range or long term development. Something that is far bigger than the immediate situation, issue, or moment is of importance, although you will only have a dim sense of that possibility at best. The situation you find yourself in right now may not be one of joy, but in time you will understand more of the bigger picture. You will come to see why things are happening as they are, and how you're being helped on to the next level, the next stage of your path, even though it may look like an obstacle right now. You're being asked to think in terms of long-term happiness. Sometimes this warrants change or even temporary restrictions in the short term. If you can see how the present can possibly become what you sense the future to be, this message is especially relevant. Through the natural process of transformation, great leaps are indeed possible. You simply must be prepared to surrender into the process with absolute trust. Joan of Arc talking there. This oracle brings you specific guidance. The situation in your current life are particularly geared towards a more significant manifestation that is coming to you according to your life path and purpose. This is a stage of preparation and of building a foundation that will hold you strong and centered as your creative journey unfolds and your life path becomes ever more brilliant and luminous. So keep plugging away, remain patient, but most of all, be hopeful and trust in the light you sense ahead of you. For it is the light that is within you, simply revealed more fully. And all that is happening now is happening to that end. Card number 1, you're being advised to first drop into your heart, let your heart lead, and then follow the light of your heart. Trust it and move it. Like you're being given clarity as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and move to card number 2. If you were drawn to card number 2, you're being asked this week to trust yourself. Look how beautiful this card is. Trust yourself. And here's the message. You are wise. You know how to grow, even without knowing how you know. Like the ancient forest, spectacular galaxies, and a unicorn that becomes the oak. Wait, the acorn that becomes the oak. That's funny. Where did the unicorn come from? Apparently, unicorn magic is coming in for you too if you're drawn to card number 2. So, and the acorn that becomes the oak, there is a natural intelligence for growth that is beyond logic and reason. It just happens. At the deepest levels, we are governed by this force that is so palpable, it literally shapes the world. At the same time, it is so invisible that sometimes we forget its presence and worry that our minds have to work everything out for life to happen and for us to be all right. We can become unnecessarily anxious about our affairs and how life will unfold. This oracle brings the message that you are growing. You really are. Don't doubt it. Even if you don't see it yet, remember that so much is happening when the seed is still unbroken in the ground. Below the earth, it is summoning up all the might, the power, and force it needs to push above the topsoil and burst up into the light. It is essential for anything good to happen later on. Yet, we don't see any of that. We just have to trust that things will happen when the time is right. You are also being asked to trust in yourself. You know how to grow. Don't overthink things. It won't help you. Don't worry so much. You're doing a great job in this game of life. When you trust yourself, you relax and you can heed your own wisdom, insight, and messages much more clearly and easily. This oracle comes with particular guidance. You have big destiny this lifetime and much to experience. This is definitely my card, by the way. Totally. Because all the messages that's coming through is what I already have been receiving. It's been really cool. Okay. So let's continue. Sometimes you make the error of judging something that is unpleasant as negative or a mistake. It isn't. It's just part of your great hunger for experience. It doesn't mean you have to have a lot of it, but when you do, don't shame yourself for it. Simply let it be. Maybe it's just fertilizer for your next step on the path. It's all part of your life process and it's all a sign of growth. This oracle is also telling you not to resist any point of instability in your life. This even applies to your most treasured relationships or creative projects. That instability is just a growing pain because more consciousness, more love, and more light wants to infiltrate and pervade all parts of your life. The instability is not a sign of sickness, but of growth. So don't fret. Instead, choose to flow and grow. Choose to flow and grow. So if you're drawn to card number 2, you're being asked to trust yourself this week. Trust the process. Trust that things are happening in the darkness of the soil. And eventually, in the right time, it will grow. It will sprout up and it will grow. All right. And of course, choose to flow and grow this week. If you're drawn to card number 3, this is your card, the perfection of your life. The perfection of your life. And here's your message. Have you ever seen a storm pictured from above? It can appear to be so beautiful and elegant. Actually, it is. It's quite incredible. This is certainly different to the ground view, which can be quite a violent experience. So too, there's great beauty in your life now. However, at this point in your natural process, you may be experiencing it as anxiety-inducing rather than beautiful. You may sense it as internal chaos. You may feel it as something that is waiting to erupt from within, as a restlessness or an anxiety that you cannot quite articulate but sense vaguely, nothing less. Perhaps the chaos is fully fledged and a person or situation in your life is causing all kinds of havoc, upheaval, or change and uncertainty in your world. Whether the chaos seems subtle, strong, internal, or external, this oracle brings the same message for you. All is unfolding according to a perfect higher order. You are currently enduring a cosmic spiritual storm, which is having an impact on you. It is clearing things out, ruffling feathers, and preparing you for that lovely, super fresh, uplifting feeling that one experiences after the storm has finally passed. If you're drawn to this oracle, wait, this is a different one. Okay, so let's see here. If you cannot believe there's anything happening, even at a subtle level, because you feel stuck, denied, bored, thwarted, or stale, this oracle brings you a message also. No matter what appears to be, in truth, there is only the unfolding, creative genius of the universe. You are not forgotten. You have not been looked over. You have not been denied, found wanting, or rejected as unworthy. The storm that needs to erupt is in your own heart. Do your liberating rain dance. Rage, weep, pray, dance, paint, or sing. Express whatever is needed, however is needed, to exercise the blocked energy in your heart. This is a powerful message. If you're drawn to card number 3, this is going to be a powerful week for you, a potent week for you. Then you will call on the powerful perfection of your life path as it aligns for the next creative turn of the spiral of life. Once again, you will trust and directly experience the flower of life unfolding within you and around you. Card number 3. That was your message. The perfection of your life. So this week is very important for you to move energy in your body, which means whether you exercise, you go for a run, or you dance, or you just shake, do a shamanic shake where you put on music and you just shake your body, you just bounce and, move your body and just shake the energy. Do things that will move energy through your body. Breathe, do some breathing exercises. All right, so let's go ahead. And now I'm going to walk you through the healing process for each card. So if you're drawn to card number 1, this is your healing process. So at this point, I want you to get comfortable, close your eyes, taking some deep breaths in. And I want you to go back to that ball of light within your heart space that is pulsating and expanding with each breath you take. And receive your healing processes. So let's begin with, if you were drawn to card number 1. If you can, go ahead and lie on your back comfortably with your hands on your heart. Go ahead and place your hand on your heart. And say, I love you. I trust you. You are beautiful. You are wise. You beat in harmony with the greater plan of love. You are my guiding light. I love you. I trust you. You are so beautiful. You say that to yourself, you envision. I want you to bring that vision of that ball of light within your heart and see how it's reacting to you, or actually responding to the words you speak into it. Now rest your hands on your heart for several long, slow breaths, or however long that feels good. Use this exercise to connect you to your heart, to strengthen that connection with your heart. And you do this as many times as you want this week. And then next, go ahead and stand up. And stand with your feet at hip width and your arms loosely and comfortably at your sides and slightly away from your body. Now say aloud, I feel the light of all that I am and will be unfolding from within me now. I feel the light of all that I am and will be unfolding from within me now. Now stand still and rest your eyes on one point, or lightly close them if you can, so easily without compromising your balance. Feel, sense, and imagine or perceive that there's a pure light switched on inside of you, almost as if an internal light switch has flickered on. Perceive or feel that light is growing brighter, bigger, and wider and more radiant. Breathe. Allow it to shine outward from within you as if there was a vibrant sun at the core of your being, with its rays extending outwards in all directions. Breathe. You are radiant, glowing being of light. Can you feel the joy and uplifting happiness of this? When you're ready, say this: I surrender what is into the love and fire of transformation, the light of which illuminates the present and manifests the future in the highest creative expression of unconditional love. I surrender what is into the love and fire of transformation, the light of which illuminates the present and manifests the future in the highest creative expression of unconditional love. Be with that inner light for several moments and breathe. And then place as much of your intention as possible into your feet. Feel in the connection to the ground beneath you. Feel the present moment by being aware of the physical sensation of your feet. Feel the coolness or the warmth. Are they tingly, cold, or stiff, and in need of some flexing and stretching? Move your feet as you wish and in your own time. When you're ready, simply open your eyes, move around, and return to your day or evening. Your healing process is completed. If you are drawn to card number 2, this healing process is for you. Go ahead and close your eyes and relax for a moment. Breathe in and out. Let your awareness drift away from worries and day-to-day matters and settle on the feeling of warmth inside of your body. Then slowly imagine, sense, or feel or perceive that you have an acorn in your heart, in your hand. It can be in your heart too, if that comes up for you. You are standing in nature as sunrise breaks, flooding the horizon with color and light. And as you hold the acorn up to the light of the rising sun, something magically happens. Out of the acorn, a hologram shines forth. It is a blueprint of this entire being that is yet to be. You see an acorn in that hologram, but you also see a marvelous oak tree. You see the wildlife that will support and be supported by that tree, the ecosystem of which it is a part. You see yourself holding the acorn up to the rising sun. You see seasons demarcated as rings of time within the trunk of the tree. You see the passing lives of many people that enjoy the oak tree through its long life. Now go ahead and place the acorn down on the ground as the sun continues to rise. Imagine, if you will, kneeling and touching your forehead lightly to the earth in reverence for the genius of growth. That same genius lives within you. Breathe. And when you're ready, in your own time, open your eyes and go about your day. You have completed your healing process. And now, if you were drawn to card number 3, this is your healing process. Close your eyes, drop into your heart space, and breathe. Imagine that you are standing at the silent center of a great cleansing storm. All aspects of your life are rained upon, blown about, and even messed up a little bit. How do you feel? The storm then passes, and you are left with soft sunshine and slightly soggy feet. Some parts of your life will have been washed away. Some others will be strong and stable. A bit messy perhaps, but still there nonetheless. How do you feel? Now bring your awareness to underneath your feet and see a pattern forming in the cleansed earth, as if it is rising up from the damp, slightly disturbed soil. A golden, gleaming geometric pattern of the flower of life glows. Sense the perfection of form. See how each flower feeds into the next in symmetry, harmony, and balance. Right here. Now finish this practice by saying, I give thanks for the higher order of life, which I trust implicitly, as it guides me into wholeness and love. From that which appears as chaos, new order is rising. I trust this and receive the gift of higher order in my life now, through grace and mercy. I give thanks for the higher order of my life, which I trust implicitly, as it guides me into wholeness and love. From that which appears as chaos, new order is rising. I trust this and receive the gift of higher order in my life now, through grace and mercy, so be it. Now breathe and relax for a moment. Become aware of your feet. Wiggle your feet. Come back to the fullness of your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes. You have completed your healing process. And if you are drawn to the flower of life pattern, you may like to research it further and draw or color it into your journal as a visual meditative exercise. So if you're drawn to card number 3, this will be a great one, a great symbol to meditate on. Perhaps print it out or draw your own if you want to. I drew the one above me. Actually, I've been drawing the flower of life way longer than I even knew what it was. And when I found that, I was like, of course. You can draw it, you can print it out, you can color it. You can just meditate with it by looking at it, or put it somewhere where you can see it. This will be important for you this week. So these are your messages and your healing for this week. I invite you to come back in the middle of the week and watch this again, and reconnect again, do the exercise again. And I invite you to also join me in my Facebook group, Moon Goddess Sacred Sanctum. You will find a link in the comments below. Go ahead and come on over and join and share your big vision. Remember the question that Joan of Arc asked us: What is your big life vision? Go ahead and share that in the group so that we can all hold space for you. I hope this resonated with you. I would love to hear how this resonated with you. And I wish for you the most magnificent, joyful, loving week and magical week. So much love to you. Thank you for receiving the messages for this week from this week's forecast. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so that you can receive the notification for next week's forecast and all the other awesome work that I post on here, the channelings that I post on here. And until next time, from my heart to your heart, goodbye.